survives the night the Titanic sunk. What an adventure! Will Tate looked out to sea and grinned. Will and his family were sailing to America on the Titanic. The Titanic is the biggest ship in the world, he told his little sister Lucy. I know, said Lucy. I wish we could go upstairs. I've heard it's like a palace. That, that night Will lay in his bunk. He listened to the hum of the ship's engines. Soon we'll have a new life in America, Mother whispered it in the darkness. Will smiled sleepy. Suddenly Will felt the heart thump and then a scrape against the side of the ship. He nearly fell out of his bunk. Will and his father left their cabin to see what had happened. On the third-class deck, they saw passengers playing football with chunks of ice. No one seemed worried. Will kicked a chunk of ice. "Goal!" cheered father. Then a ship steward interrupted the game. "The ship has hit an iceberg," he said. "There is no danger, but everyone should wear a life jacket." Will and his father hurried back to their cabin. "What's this for?" Lucy asked as she put on her life jacket. "It will help you to float in the water," Will told Lucy, "just in case." Will watched it up as a bright light shot up into the starry night sky. It burst with a loud bang, like a firework. "That's an emergency floor," said father, "and there's a lifeboat. The ship must be in trouble." "The lifeboats are on the top deck," said father. "Hurry!" called mother. The Tates run through the ship. It was like a hung maze. Water gasped into the hallways. The floors sloped, and Will couldn't walk straight. With one hand he gripped a wooden railing. With the other hand he pulled Lucy up the ground staircase. At last they reached the top deck. "The ship is sinking," cried a frightened passenger. "But the Titanic is unsinkable. Someone and his claiming." The Tates hurried towards the lifeboats. They weren't taking chances. Women and children in the lifeboats first," called the ship officer. "I won't leave without you, Tom," said mother. "Go on, Jean," father said. "Take care of the children." Mother kissed him and climbed into the lifeboats with Lucy. Now it was Will's turn. "Get in the lifeboats, Will," called mother. "Come on," Lucy echoed. Will didn't know what to do. Finally she shook his head. "I'm staying on the ship with father," he said. "Will, you must go with your mother and sister," said father. But it was too late. Will and his father watched as the ship officer lowered the lifeboats into the sea. Soon there were only a few lifeboats left. The frightened crowd pushed on and sobbed to climb into the boats. Will felt father's hand on his shoulder. Suddenly father pushed him through the crowd and into a lifeboat. The boat swayed as a ship's officer lowered it into the sea. Will looked up the Titanic. Father was waving to him from the deck. As Will helped to row the lifeboats away from the Titanic, he watched the great ship sink. It tipped forward with a crash. People clung to the railings. Others jumped from the decks. "I've got to save my father," called Will. He wanted to row back to the sinking ship, but the other people into lifeboats stopped him. "It's too dangerous," they cried. Finally, the Titanic disappeared under the water. Somehow, Will felt sure his father would be safe. Some other lifeboats defricked nearby. Using a rope, they linked up with Will's boats. Suddenly, he heard a familiar voice. "Will, is that you?" Mother was helping to row on of the other boats. Carefully, Will climbed into her boat and huddled next to Lucy. Lucy surveyed. Will put his arm around her to keep her arm. Where's father?" she asked. "I don't know, but I'm sure he's fine," said Will. The cold air made his breath look like foggy streams. The lifeboats defricked for a long time. At last, Will saw a light in the distance. It was a rescue ship. Everyone cheered. It was morning by the time the rescue ship arrived. Will and his mother climbed up the rope ladder. They held on tight as the ladder swung in the breeze. Lucy was too late to climb up the rope ladder. The rescue ship's crew pulled her aboard in a mail sack. They were cold, tired, and hungry, but the most important thing was finding father. "Look, there he is," Will cried out at last. He pointed to a lifeboat that was being towed towards the rescue ship. "Father, father," called Lucy. Father stumbled on board. He was so cold, his lips were blue. "I jumped from the Titanic and climbed into the last lifeboats," he gasped. He fell into Mother's arms. "I'm so glad to see you all." 3 days later, the rescue ship arrived in America. Will stood on the deck with his family as the ship docked in Newark Harbor. "So many people didn't survive the shipwreck," said Father sadly. "We're very lucky," said Mother. Will and Lucy agreed. There were 2,206 people on board the Titanic, but only 705 survived. The Titanic disaster soon led to better safely at sea.